Hello again, my nomies, and welcome back to the MT and me. Well, our first order of business comes back to a gas line. Yeah, we're going to take a little road trip and see if we can't find something that will work on Pearl to get that gas pump and carburetor connected once and for all. And to check that out, the first order of business today is a trip to the zone. Well, boys and girls, we are at the zone. I'm going to go inside, see if they've had any luck helping me find something that might replace this fuel line. Fingers crossed, as always. Well, wouldn't you know, they had every size connector and adapter except for this one. Seriously, that's the kind of luck we have here on the MT and me, right? So, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. This trip is not wasted because I now know that this is a 1/2-inch 20 thread connector. 1/2-inch 20 thread. That is important information because I now know exactly what to look for. They checked all of their resources and they couldn't come up with anything that would adapt this to whatever I need to connect the line. Nothing in store. They could even pull up anything in the catalog to order, which surprised me. But I've got the information. 1/2-inch, 20 thread. So I'm going to get online, check out some additional sources, and see if I can't track something down that we can order, and finally get some gas from the fuel pump to the carburetor in Pearl. 1/2-inch, 20 thread. So my trip to the zone was not a total loss at all. Not by any means. So, maybe we'll make some more progress. As always, fingers crossed. now for something completely different. I came home one afternoon last week and I found this in my front yard. This is a horizontal drilling machine. It's used to punch holes under roadways or parking lots or any other area you don't necessarily want to dig up, so that pipe and conduit can be run underground, just between two holes. Now usually they run this flexible PVC tubing. In this case, this orange colored pipe that they're using here is usually for electrical or communication services. I'm really not sure who contracted this crew, but they have been in the neighborhood for about a week or so, and today they're in my ditch, burrowing to the east. Now, I've known about these horizontal drilling machines for some time, but this is the first time I've actually been able to watch one work. And it's pretty amazing. The machine can drill at various angles, spinning the bit as it goes along. And as the drilling proceeds, sections of pipe are added so that it keeps moving forward. And that pipe is hollow so that water can be fed through it to the bit, and that helps to soften the soil as it cuts through and makes the hole. A second worker follows the bit with this electronic locator device and helps the drill operator stay on course. Now when they finally get to the end of wherever they're tunneling to, the PVC hoses are attached to the drill bit, and then the whole process is reversed, pulling the pipe back to the machine and removing sections of pipe as needed. Now this pulls the PVC tubing back to the point that the drilling started, and voila, you have a buried pipe without having to trench it. It really is fascinating to watch. The driller disconnects the bit from the pulled pipe, and then he prepares to move the machine to the next drilling location. It was here that this entire operation went south quickly. You see, when the operator started to back the machine out of the ditch, it was quite evident that it was stuck. And I don't just mean kinda stuck. No, this baby was tilted 45 degrees on its side with one part of it totally sunk into the mire. It wasn't going anywhere under its own power. So here's where the discussing begins. What is the best way to move a 2-ton drilling machine out of a muddy ditch at 5 p.m. on a Friday? I fully expected these guys to knock off and just leave it in my ditch overnight, or maybe even for the weekend. But apparently their schedule didn't allow that, and they went to work on their recovery operation. I even stepped in to offer a few ideas, but I quickly realized that these fellows knew the job a lot better than I did. First thing, they tried to move it with their water truck. Bad plan. So next they brought in their ditch digger. Using it, they finally started making some slow progress. But the trouble was, it was getting dark. Fast. And that hazy moonlight overhead was no help at all. Well, after several hours of pulling with the ditch digger and digging in the mud and burying boards to try and support that machine, they had managed to move the driller about its length in the ditch. But the trouble is, it was still very much stuck. It was about here that I decided it was getting too late for me to keep on watching and filming. So I left this very diligent crew of 6 determined guys working by the glow of headlights and flashlights. I wished them luck and went inside. It's the next morning, and obviously they got their machine out of the ditch. I'm not sure exactly when they got it out. I gave up on them about 10 o'clock and went inside. Sometime after that, they obviously were successful. Looks like they managed to drag it out, drag it down the ditch far enough and then drag it out onto the street, but I don't know. I was not here watching or filming. Point is, I got up this morning and it's gone. But boy, did they leave a mess. I don't think my poor ditch will ever be the same. My front yard may not be either. Between moving trucks in and out and moving their little forklift ditch digger around, they've left some pretty deep ruts. And it's kind of interesting that I don't see the orange pipe that they were burying with all of this. Now maybe it's just all covered up and stuck under the mud, but after doing all that work to get that pipe pulled back up here to the ditch, I just hope that it all accomplished something, especially after leaving this mess behind. That huge piece of wood is something they were using to try and brace their machine while they were dragging it through the mud in an attempt to get it out. There's another one right there, and it's at least halfway buried in the mud. I guess I'm gonna have to dig it out. In fact, I guess I'm gonna have to clean all of this up, because this entire work crew has vanished. I don't see them. I don't hear them working anywhere else in the neighborhood. They worked late into the night, got their machine, and now they're gone. But I can tell you this, it's gonna definitely take some digging and some work to get this ditch to where it'll drain water again. It rained some early this morning, and that's where all the standing water and fresh looking mud has come from. Maybe while it's wet, I need to get out here with some hose and rakes and see if I can't smooth things out a little bit, especially some of these ruts in the yard behind me. Well, I just hope they got their pipe laid, and I hope they don't have to come back and work on it anymore, because I sure don't want to go through anything like this again. Yeah. All right. As I sit here today editing this video, getting it ready to come to you, it's been about 2 weeks since the pipe tunneling incident, as I'll call it. I've still seen hide nor hair of those guys. I've started trying to repair the yard a little bit. That ditch is going to be another thing, though. We'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens. But anyway, It's like I always tell you, I have an interesting life here on the MT and me, and a lot of it has nothing to do with Pearl, the MT. So, as you can see, sometimes you just never know what you're going to come home to and how that day's going to go. Life can be full of surprises. Well, one pleasant surprise was getting the size of that fitting, thanks to my friends at my local AutoZone. They had this nice little chart, kind of a chart guide thing. You just fit it in until he found the one that fit. It was great. So we found out it's 1/2 inch, 20 thread. And so I got online and did a little searching with those particular figures, and I came up with this. This is a 1/2 inch, 20 thread gas filter fitting. It's exactly what I've been looking for. You just had to have the right search parameters. So, yes, I ordered 2 of them. They're real cheap, and I really don't think I'm going to have to send these back. As always, tune in next time around and find out here on the MT and me, okay? So, thank you for taking the road trip with me this week, and thank you for helping me, or watching me at least, get through this whole digging adventure in my yard, which I just have a feeling might not be over yet. We'll see. Below you can find the mtandme.com, a link to that, a link to buy me a coffee. You can, of course, give me a thumbs up on this video, and that would be so appreciated. If you're not a subscriber, why not? Click it and stay with us every week, right here on the MT and Me. You're my nomies, and I love you. I'm Russ. We'll talk later.